Hi lovelies, Queen Pella, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, Happy New Year to everyone. I think I'm gonna do something a little different for this video. I'm gonna do like a little tiny story time, and I might be incorporating this more throughout the year, just little story times here and there spread out while I play with makeup. So feel free to, I guess, play with makeup along with and just sit and listen. So I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. I've used this once before. I really did like it, so now I'm gonna use it on camera so you guys can see. I already finished my face. I also used the face products in here, which was the blush and highlight. I just haven't touched the eyeshadow, so I can talk and apply it while you guys listen. I went a little bold on my brows today. I don't hate it. I also don't love it, but I guess it's a look. Anyways, so the story time is going to be my first kiss. It's not gonna be a long story at all. So alright, I was 13 when I had my first kiss. I'm going in with a fluffy brush. I'm going to use the shade Transition. Now, okay, something to note, I've known this kid for years, like years. We all, like, you know, grew up in the same neighborhood, and he lived in the neighborhood. His mom had fallen on some, we're gonna call them hard times, some very hard times. I'm not gonna go too much into detail about what happened, because, you know, that's their business, and I'm in no position to, you know, tell you guys what went on and what led them to the predicament they found themselves in. But needless to say, they became homeless, and my mom decided to help out his mom by letting his mom and her son, we're gonna call him JJ to respect his privacy, to stay with us for a while. Now, if you guys know anything about a Hispanic mother, like, there's a difference between mommy and a mommy, like a Latina mother, okay? There's a difference. If you know, you know. Now, Hispanic moms generally are, especially with their daughters, very strict. So I wasn't allowed to go outside or do anything. So again, mind you, I told you I was 13 at the time, and it was like a hassle, a struggle to get my mom to even let me play outside in front of the building, like just in front of our building. I was hardly ever allowed outside. So for JJ and his mom to stay with us, it was a treat. Now, at the time, my sister was, I think, living with her dad and her sister and his wife at the time in PA. So my sister was going to school out there for a year. Excuse me. So it was just me, little old me by myself. So, like, he was someone to play with. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, we talked. I can't remember what we talked about. I just know, like, me and JJ got, like, pretty close. His mom helped out around the house wherever she could. Mom was cool too. His mom really liked me. At least I think she really liked me. So I would talk to her, and it was nice. So like we'd play video games, we watch movies, we'd watch a lot of movies. I mean, there wasn't much else to do except, you know, play video games, watch movies, and, you know, talk. So that's pretty much what we did. And as time grew on, like I kind of got, you know, had a crush on JJ, and I'm assuming he felt the same way, considering, you know, obviously he's the one that gave me my first kiss. Now, I already know it wasn't his first kiss, but I was older than him by, I think, a year or two, I think. But, you know, he's also the type of kid where, not to say his mom didn't care what he did, but, you know, again, he's, you know, he was just able to do a lot more than I was. So because he was able to hang out and stuff and I wasn't, of course I assume he was a little more experienced. But anyway, that's beyond the point. So, and you know, like I told him in like past conversations, like no, like I never kissed anybody, and you know, I never had a boyfriend, and blah blah blah. And I guess with all the time we spent with each other, I'm assuming he developed feelings for me as well, or, you know, had a crush on me too. You know, like, you know, we were babies. We were little. We were like that young. And so there was one day we were on the couch and we were watching a couple movies that day. Like, I guess we were binging out on movies. And I don't know if I chose next. I probably did, because we were watching Selena, so I chose it. But yeah, the next movie we started watching was Selena. And I even remember down to the scene. It was that scene where, you know how they're at the carnival or whatever? And they're playing, like they're performing on stage at this carnival. When, you know, all the kids, all the little dinos were young. Like, they weren't grown up yet. And me and him were, like, I guess, play fighting on the couch or whatever. So, Mom, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. And, like, the little boy was strong. So I'm like, okay. Okay. I know what to do. So, like, he kept, like, pushing me. I was pushing him back. And then, like, he was, like trying to, like, tie my hands down to tickle me. And I kept, like, breaking free and, you know, like, trying to get him back. And eventually he just held, like, my arms down. And I'm like, damn, like, I'm going to lose. Crap, I'm going to lose. I don't know what I was going to lose at. But I was like, I wanted to win. Anyway. So, we pretty much had, like, this tickling war, I think. If memory serves me correctly. And I eventually, we were going back for a little bit. And I don't know if his mom was there too, because all this happened in the sala. We were on the couch, you know, play fighting. And I think his mom was on the other couch asleep or whatever. I don't know where my mom was. I think she was in her room. Clearly, I was bold. Because of what happened next. And so as this scene was playing, like, we were playing on and off and watching the movie. And eventually, I climbed on top of him because I was determined to win this tickle war or whatever. And he held my arms down. Now, I'm already, like, pretty much sitting on top of him, like, on his lap. So he's sitting down, I'm like on his lap, and I'm trying to, like, grab his arms to keep her from tickling me. And then he pins my arms down to my side, and then, like, he pretty much, like, insinuates a kiss. Like, he puckers up his lips, insinuating a kiss. Now, oh my gosh, the thoughts running through my head, like, oh my gosh, like, I really like this boy. And, you know, like, at this point, like, we've known so much about each other because, like, we were talking so often because, you know, we were in the house with each other 24/7. So, of course, what did I do? I never been kissed before, and, like, I wanted to kiss him. So I leaned in and I pecked him back. Now, okay, we were young. It was just a little, but it like, at the time, it hadn't meant so much to me. Okay, I'm gonna go into the shade Smoke with a more detailed brush. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got my first kiss. It was with him, and it was during that scene of Selena, and I will never forget it. And like, still to this day, whenever I watch Selena and that scene comes on, like, that's the memory I have, was my first kiss. And it's still very special to this day. I don't know what happened to JJ. I haven't seen him in years. Like, his family still lives in the neighborhood, and I believe his mom is still around. And but yeah, like, I still have, you know, those fond memories. And I hope everything turned out, you know, well and okay with him. And like, I still see, like, you know, his cousin on Facebook, and his other cousin who, you know, lives in the area. And like I said, his family, some of his family still, you know, lives in the neighborhood. But I don't know what happened to him. Like, I haven't seen him in years. I don't know, it was like, you know, after he graduated high school, he went to college, or just graduated high school and moved away. I don't know what happened. At the end of the day, that was my first kiss. And, you know, that little puppy love obviously didn't last long. He eventually no longer stayed at, you know, the house, and neither did his mom. And I'm not gonna tell you, you know, what happened. They couldn't stay there forever, but stuff had happened, stuff went down, and they were no longer at the house. And I still saw him from time to time because he was still, you know, in the neighborhood. But he eventually, you know, broke my heart and started, you know, dating someone else. And but whatever, I still feel, you know, happy with the memories I had and the time, you know, we shared. Like I said, you know, he was just a nice companion for the time. This look is coming out so pretty. Going with the lower lash line now with the same crease color. I think the next story time I'm going to do is going to be the story time of how I met my now husband. I think that'll be an interesting one. Let me know in the comments if you like these story times. This one was kind of like a really short one, but it's still a story I hold, you know, near and dear to my heart because it was my first kiss. I've got a couple of other story times to share, but I think the one with me meeting my husband is gonna be the next one. And then probably after that will be the one where he spent the night at my house. That's gonna be a good one. And I know I'm gonna get a phone call from my mom like, what? Watch. I'm a full-grown adult. I'm damn near almost 30. But I'm going to tell you guys that story time anyway. And I'm going to hope and pray my mom today finds it funny too, because I'm scared. Even as a grown adult, she's, oh my gosh, she's like, I want to whip my face. And then I'll probably do a story time on how I found out I was pregnant with my first baby, because that's a story right there too. Oh boy, you guys are gonna laugh at that one. Anyways, I'm going to go in with the shade into... This palette is so nice. This is such a beautiful wearable everyday palette. So funny. Do any of you guys remember your first kiss? Like, if you do and you care to share, like, you know, sound off in the comments below. Like, was it a good experience, a bad experience, an awkward experience? Like, how old were you? Because I think 13 is a pretty good age for I don't know, maybe not, because I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, damn, my daughter's 12, and if she would be kissing a boy at 13, I would flip out. So it's so weird how you think of these things, what you did as kids, now that you're an adult yourself, and you're like, damn, I should not have been doing that. Or, damn, I got away with it. Or, damn, no wonder my mother was, you know, like this, or X, Y, and Z. It's like only when you're an adult do you realize these things. Ugh. I could also do a story time on when I got my first period. Oh my goodness. I wasn't even at my mom's house. So I wasn't at home. I was at my titi and tíos in Pennsylvania. And boy, was that awkward. Because my titi was not home at the time. My uncle was, but yeah. I'll leave you guys to kind of fill in the blanks. But yeah. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to slap something on the lid now. This palette performs so beautifully. I think I'm gonna go in with this one, the one that says outer corner right here, all over the lid. This is such a pretty gold. I really hope she does more of these like intense shimmer colors. So like, I'm so afraid to get this all over my face, but I'm gonna kind of pat it on. I wonder how many people out there can honestly say that they still have any type of contact or remember or still see the person that they share their first kiss with. Like, even if you guys obviously no longer together, because I'm assuming when you have your first kiss, you're kind of young, and you know, you gotta kiss a few frogs before you find that right person. Needless to say, thank God it didn't take me very many frogs or toads to find my Prince Charming. So I'm going to apply this all dry, And then I'm gonna spritz my brush and then reapply it so you guys can see what the formula looks like dry versus wet. I'm not doing nothing too crazy. I'm keeping it kind of subtle. Spritz it with this. Farsali went out of business. Thank God I got one more bottle as a backup. But I'm kind of butthurt about that. For the very inner part leading to like the lid, so like from here to here, I'm going to use the inner corner shade on this itty bitty little brush. And there's a completed look. I think this is really, really nice. This can be very easily, I'd wear this in the day or the night, to be honest. The blush is super pretty. The highlight is beaming. Even though it's kind of like not the trend right now to have a beaming highlight, I don't care. I will be wearing highlight whether it's in trend, not in trend, whatever. Right now the trend is like subtle highlight or more dewy and glowy skin. I love the dewy and glowy skin, but you'd have to pry highlighter out of my cold dead hands before I stop using it. I love highlight. The blush is kind of that cream to powder. Mine hasn't dried out. I know I see another YouTuber, her name is I think Morgan Turner, and she was saying how hers dried out, and I've had mine's just as long as she had hers. I think I got mine maybe 2 weeks after she did her video. So, and mine just still feels like the same consistency, but overall beautiful. This is kind of like your one and done shop. The only thing you're missing is a bronzer, but for the most part you have everything you need right here to create a full look, which is really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini story time, and I hope you stay tuned for the next one. And I think the next one's gonna be when I met my husband. So again, have a nice day. Please comment, like, subscribe, and let me guys know in the comments whether you did like the video, what when your first kiss was, if you care to share, and how old you were. And I think next video I'm gonna pull out maybe an older palette so I can give some of my older palettes some love too. And maybe I'd encourage you guys to pull out some of your older palettes that you haven't touched in a while. I mean, we spent the money on it. We may as well get, our money's worth. So have a good one, and bye.